It's like...
So, you don't get massaged anymore? Someone in the studio audience? The things you miss while you're off camera. Hopefully our mics are off for that. Hey everyone, welcome to Fan Service. We are at the end of our run of 1.0. So we're just going to kind of have some fun today. If you guys missed last weekend, which was epic, our 6-hour live broadcast of South by Southwest Filmmakers went off without a hitch. We want to thank everybody that was there for it. You can see all the interviews on our YouTube channel and on the new fanboytv.com, which is coming up here within the next few days, I hope, if I can get it finished. Anyways, we're going to kick off today's show. We're just going to jump right into our topic because we're going to spend some time on South by Southwest later. But our topic today is Gone But Not Forgotten. I'm joined by Sarah, who likes massages and has a talking, goodie bits. And Jesus.
You're not supposed to tell people. That was told a secret.
He's got googly eyes. And, anyways. And Jesus, who's not been on the show in quite some time because he disappears. Yes. So the whole idea of what our topic today is, we all love things. Like, I loved Farscape. You loved Firefly. Mega Man. Which needs to go away. Anyways, but all these good shows always disappear before it's time for them to go. And there's always this fan outcry, like, years later.
Yeah.
Which I always find weird. Why wasn't it there when they needed it? And if there was such a fan base, why didn't it exist? So let's start with Firefly, because that is the prime example of a show that's... I haven't watched it, so I can't really speak from... you know this, don't judge me.
I'm judging.
From example, but it lasted a season, and they had to make a movie. But all these rabid fan base, did they cancel Firefly if it had that fan base?
Because it didn't have that fan base until, as you said, years later. And I think that the cause was because it wasn't advertised enough whenever it was on. And most people couldn't get into the first episode because it is one of those shows that you kind of have to watch a couple of episodes and you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I need more.
Like my experience with Doctor Who. I had to go a season and a half. But then you get things like, what was it, Jericho that they canceled? The fans outcried, so they made a second season, and then what happened?
I have no clue.
See, that's a continual thing that's happening, and I just find it very odd that you have such a fan base, but the show gets canceled, and people are like, they outrage. So we made a list of things that are gone before their time, things that have been around a little too long, and some other fun things. So let's start off at the top. Firefly. Why should Firefly still be around?
Well, as you can obviously tell, first it had the season, which no one really watched until it was off the show. Yes.
Off the show,
Yes, I did say that. And then there was such an outcry from the fans that they actually made a movie of it, and it went into theaters and everyone could watch it. So it became a big deal.
Yeah, but not everybody watched the movie.
I know, but they should.
They cried for this movie, and then the 5 fans went to go watch it, and then it just disappeared again. And now here we are years again, the cycle's starting again. We want more Firefly. I could care less, honestly. I don't really do the Western, even if it's a sci-fi Western. And I liked the movie, but I didn't really understand what I was watching.
Well, that's because if you watch the show, you might understand it a little bit better.
Picky. Can't go out of order with you. So what do you think is going to happen to Firefly?
Well, I'd hope it's coming back. And as Joss Whedon already said with the Veronica Mars show or movie that just came out and the fans paid all that money for it, Joss Whedon said that he would be willing to do Firefly in a couple of years once he's not so busy with freaking Avengers.
He can stay on Avengers for all I care. Let's see. We have Avengers or Firefly. What do I want him working on? I'm thinking superheroes because he did such a good job the first time. And obviously something was wrong with Firefly that didn't engage the audience enough the first time around.
Well, maybe now that they've had experience, since now Nathan Fillion is in Castle and then all the other cast and crews are in a whole bunch of other stuff, maybe now, since it is no longer their first show, they might actually be able to have a good show.
Next on the list is Battlestar Galactica. I don't agree with this one as much.
I don't either.
Didn't it run for a while?
I think it had like 3 seasons.
But why? Do you think it was honestly gone before its time?
Honestly, I'm probably a bad fan here, but I couldn't even get into the first episode. So I haven't even watched the show. But I know that this is one that everyone is like, oh my god, we need more.
What about you, Jesus? Have you watched Battlestar Galactica?
I'm not going to lie. I did watch a couple episodes.
What did you think?
It's very good.
So it is good, and it has that rabid cult following, but they cancel it. And I remember when they canceled it for Caprica, and no one liked Caprica, right? Right? And then they did Bloody Chrome.
Galactica wasn't canceled. They wrote it for 4 seasons.
Galactica was written for 4 seasons, according to Josh.
Before they even made the series, they wrote out all 4 seasons. It was written for 4 seasons.
So who put Battlestar Galactica on this list? They should be shot. Was it you? Who put it?
Doing more things with it. Pretty cool stuff. Bloody Chrome looks fantastic. That's what it should be on there.
Y'all are yelling and nobody can understand what you're saying.
Okay, we have no clue how this got on the list. He's undressing you, Jesus.
Yes.
Oh.
All right, the thing is...
Get in the camera, here. Come get closer to me.
The thing with Battlestar Galactica is that they've been doing a lot more with it. Like, they've been doing Blood and Chrome, but the thing with Blood and Chrome is Sci-Fi made the pilot movie for it, the 2-hour pilot movie, and then they canceled the series.
Why on earth would you have
But
done
then
something
here's the
like
thing,
that?
they released it on YouTube, and then they released it on Blu-ray.
The series?
And then they're going, no, just...
Well, they did that with Firefly.
The 2-hour TV movie. And then they're going to release it on TV eventually. And maybe if it doesn't, they're going to be like, hey, maybe this was a good thing and maybe we should make it anyways. But it's sci-fi. I'm not expecting very much from them.
Oh, we'll get plenty of Sharknadoes and
yeah, but
crocodile
but when sci-fi finally has a good series...
Which,
and,
you know, I agree because I'm not a Stargate fan of the series, but I love Stargate Universe.
God, that show got canceled after 2 seasons.
That show got canceled like pretty much when but it was a good show and they gave it time to develop and then they just ended it. And it's like, why did you give me that funny look?
Because I've only watched the movie. I never watched the shows.
That's the same way I was. I couldn't get into the shows, but when I watched, put this mic back
Yeah,
on.
I'm giving back to Mike. I go back into the room.
When they did Stargate Universe, it's the formula I love. Lost in space done correctly. Voyager was lost in space but not done correctly.
Okay.
But Lost in Space, and it was awesome, and then they just ended it. And I was like,
Can't believe you actually brought up Lost in Space.
well, no, it's the concept of being lost, completely lost in space, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
I love the Lost in Space show too, but it's the general idea. So sci-fi just sucks sometimes. Like they also canceled Farscape way before it should have been canceled. And then they did the crappy miniseries movie, which kind of just wrapped everything up the best as possible. But still, sci-fi makes bad choices, and I think that's one of the main culprits of the whole gone but not forgotten genre is effing sci-fi, because they will put the crappiest movies like Mega Piranodon on, and you know the movie with the dinosaur bones that came back to life, and it was dinosaur bones eating people. But they won't do good shows, you know.
What about Python?
I'm telling you, they do the stupidest made-for-TV movie. Although Sharktopus was pretty good.
I'm never taking movie advice from you ever again.
Did you not watch Sharktopus?
No.
You should. It's freaking
Why?
hilarious.
Coming from the person who says I should also watch Human Centipede.
Yes, Human Centipede is really good. But we're digressing. Okay, sci-fi is the main culprit of.
Well,
when they cancel things
actually,
early.
Sci-fi is the main reason why Firefly now has such a huge following, is because they do the day-long marathons of Firefly.
Yeah, but what are they doing to help it? Outside of getting more people to say, why the hell is this show canceled? Sci-fi is the evil culprit enterprise. I'm telling you.
It is where everything goes to die, I will admit.
We're going to end up there one day, trust me. Next
Hey,
on the list.
at least it's higher. Anyways.
Megas XLR was this awesome cartoon, but you obviously didn't watch it. You missed out. Did you watch Megas?
No.
It was on Cartoon Network, and it lasted about a season and a half, and it was about this guy who found a robot that was from outer space, and he put his car over the head, and he went and fought things, and it was the funniest cartoon, and it was on the vein of Adventure Time, but with giant robots. Don't roll your head at me. And they just ended that one as well. So, Megas XLR, Google it. It's on our freaking homepage of diabolicalleague.com. There's a banner. It's Megas going like this. You can't miss it. Anyways.
Was he like Nixon?
Kind of. But it's like this is more proof that the best stuff just disappears for crap, which we're going to talk about the next cartoon, Invader Zim. Now, there is a cartoon that really should have been allowed to stay on the air because what did they cancel it for? But Ugly Martians, which lasted like 3 episodes, people. And they were building up to the coolest thing with Invaders Zim, with bringing in all the fun characters of like more Tack, the hideous new girl, which was my favorite episode.
I love Tack.
And Scooge. They were all going to be there and having lots of fun. But honestly, Nickelodeon, what were you thinking when you said, hey, let's get the guy who did Johnny the Homicidal Maniac to do a kid's show and not understand exactly what it is you're going to get? I mean, it was missing everything except Squee.
Yeah, it was. I will admit.
It had Filler Bunny in it at one point in time.
What?
Yeah, Filler Bunny was there. Filler Bunny.
What about Nail Bunny?
Episode. I think that was in there too.
Oh my god, I have to rewatch Invaders Zim now. That's amazing.
Cool freaking ass cartoon.
But you also have to admit that's more for us as opposed to kids like Nickelodeon is supposed to be for. But then again, with All Real Monsters and all the other shit that I grew up with.
Language.
Sorry. All the other stuff I grew up with.
But kids loved that show. And I didn't give it a chance at first because it went up against Farscape, and I was a Farscape Nazi. I'm not lying. And I would watch something, and Invaders Zim's next. Farscape, done. And then I finally started watching Invaders Zim, and I loved it. I was like, where have I been? And that was towards the end of its life cycle. And I was like, what happened? Bad decisions on people's choice.
Well,
Bad decisions.
it did also get 3 seasons, though.
It did, barely.
Yeah, that's true.
And
I think like the last 3 episodes.
And
thank you, Hot Topic.
Screw you, Hot Topic. I hate you. But you know, TV's not the only thing that exists too long. We also have games.
Yeah.
Like
That's
games that really should have been allowed to fruit. No game more than Time Splitters. Time Splitters never got a fair shake. Did you ever play Time Splitters?
Not the gamer.
I've seen it a couple times. Josh playing it.
It blows Halo out of the water. It blows Call of Duty out of the water simply because it is the most fun game you will ever pick up.
Shooting monkeys.
You have monkeys. You have, I mean, it's got 60 characters that you can open up to play, and they're all different. You've got a mobster whale with fish for fingers. It's a funny game, and it's fast, and it's so customizable. And the weapons, they're not just pew, 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 exploding watermelons. You can throw bricks. You got sticks. You've got rocket launchers, machine guns. You have everything you could possibly imagine, plus the environments were so beautiful. And it was so much fun, because the whole idea was you played an agent in the future who was trying to stop aliens from stealing things from the past to jack with the timeline. Why it's called Time Splitters. Nobody cared about that. We cared about the multiplayer, because it was the most, look it up, I promise you will be sold. And so it went 1, 2, and then 3, and that's when Halo started taking over and all these other places, and the studio that made it folded under because Lucas did something bad to them. Shame on you, Lucas.
Like Lucasfilms?
No, the game they were doing Battlefront 3. It was they had a Battlefront 3 trailer, produced everything, and Lucas pulled the funding, and the studio went under and got bought by Crytek. So now everyone that did Time Splitters is making Crysis 3 and wanting to make Time Splitters 4 because they had already started on it. And I promise you, you will not have a better time on any game than if you're playing Time Splitters, because the sheer insanity factor of it. And you laugh at me, but if you look it up on YouTube, I promise you, look it up. There's this huge movement to bring it back with the HD collection, and there's a whole group of fans got together, and they're making a Unreal mod. So if you have like Unreal 2004 or whatever, you can get the mod and play Time Splitters the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it is a rabid fan base, and nobody's listening.
Nope.
I went off on a whole Time Splitters rant there, but
should we get Josh out here so that you two can
no,
geek out?
Because we'll go crazy.
He likes Battlefront 3 a lot.
And so, yeah, Battlefront 3, the Star Wars Battlefront series was so much fun, even though the second one was really weird, like when you got to be the Emperor and you're just kind of like floating around like you're evil and lightning coming out of your fingers. What? The whole point of Battlefront is it's Team A versus Team B, and you can do settings, and it's just a entirely player versus player game.
Right.
There's like no story to it. You just get in, pick a side.
So Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, basically. And it was so much fun. And no, Pyro's out here staring at me. And so they had a proof of concept for Battlefront 3 from the Time Splitters crew, which, come here.
Yeah.
Pyro's going to come in here and talk
here
about
you can talk about the games.
Time Splitters, the crew behind Time Splitters.
They were going to do a fantastic job, because the trailers and everything you see seamless transition from space to ground combat, no loading screens, nothing whatsoever. You can start in space. You're on a fighter. You go down to the planet, do strafing runs on.
Yeah.
So it was amazing.
It was going to be absolutely amazing.
Plus, then you get all the expanded stuff that they're doing with like the Clone Wars and everything. You get the planets from them and stuff, and you get to fight on Christophus.
Yeah.
Or Nal Hutta or wherever, and it was just fun. And one of the funnest things about it was you don't necessarily have to play the Jedi like a lot of the Star Wars games.
Out Star Wars and the whole Free Radical team.
Yeah, thank
here.
God.
We miss you, Free Radical.
We know. And Pandemic.
Crytek.
And
Why don't you just release them from the vault and let them
I
do
feel
stuff?
sad.
Okay, so
I'm
we're going to
depressed
move
now.
on now to things that have gone on for a little too long.
I
And
guess
Sarah
I'll be
needs
here
to
now.
come back up here.
No, she can go in the
Things
control
that
room
have
if she
gone on
wants.
for too long. No, because she wrote most of these things.
No, I didn't. Y'all were supposed to be helping me write this.
You know we don't
You
think.
said Call of Duty. You didn't put that on there.
Call of Duty. That's got to go away. So we're going to start with Call of Duty.
Here, take the mic back.
No. Call of Duty and Madden are just like the same type of game. They're the same game every year, and people are dumb enough to freaking buy them.
It's true.
Okay. It's called DLC, people. If they just did it as DLC content to update your regular game, you'd be much better off. But no, we're going to line up at midnight to buy the exact freaking same football game we bought last year.
But no,
What's
but
the
this
point?
this one has one more player on it.
That's called a DLC. They should download it. We're good to go, right? Right? And so I don't understand the stupidity of people. I'm getting the new Madden. People take off of work for that game. You took it off last year, too. Did anything change? No, except you got paid a little bit less this paycheck.
At least whenever they were doing it with like Super Smash Bros. And adding the new characters, they also added pretty much everything else was new to it.
Yeah, I think the only major change from one Madden to the next one year was they added a sweat mechanic, so the players sweated.
That's dumb.
Who cares, you know?
Oh, look at that sweat fly! It looks so real!
Oh my goodness! And so,
It's like WoW did it good, and also StarCraft. Too.
well, StarCraft 2 took forever to come out, but
Yeah, I heard it was like, what, 14 years?
yeah, Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was 14 years.
It's just as bad as Madden. It's the same damn game every single year with some new locations.
That's pretty much
There's
how I feel
no-
about all sports games, though.
Yeah, but also, all sports games do feel like that. They do a new version every year. There's the new Call of Duty every year, and you're just like, where's the innovation? Everybody wants to be Call of Duty now. Like, I bought Aliens Colonial Marines, and that game kicks ass, but no one liked it because it's not Call of Duty. There are other games besides Call of Duty and Halo out there in the world, people.
No,
Keep
there's
that in
not.
mind.
He's
But
lying to you. Don't digress.
this one I don't quite understand. You said there's a Walking Dead Monopoly.
Yes, there is.
What do you do, shamble around the board?
I don't know.
So Monopoly is one of those things that's been around a little too long. There's like 500 versions of Monopoly.
There's an Austin version of it.
There's an Austin version, there's a UT version, there's a Nintendo version, there's a Sega version, there's a Muppets version. There's actually 3 Muppets versions. There's a Night Before Christmas. There's about 4 Pixar versions.
And a
there's
Doctor Who.
There's a Doctor Who version. How many games of Monopoly do we really need? Because that is like the most evil game ever. And then just the it is.
If you're not willing to lose your friends over a game,
game
you're not
Monopoly,
playing
yeah.
hard enough.
And now they have regular Monopoly, Monopoly EBT, where you could just swipe cards, Monopoly Millionaire, Monopoly Junior version 2, and it's like
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Monopoly Online.
Monopoly Online. I had it up on my
No,
phone to play
no,
Monopoly.
I actually had one on the 64. There was a Monopoly 64 version of it.
Oh my God! See, why did they just not let it go? I don't quite understand that.
Well, they've been doing it for over 50 years, so.
Yeah, another thing they don't let go, Family Guy.
Yes.
Family Guy was funny when it got canceled.
Yeah.
And then it came back. Yeah,
When did it ever get canceled?
it was off the air. Fans fought to bring it back.
Yeah.
They canceled after like season 2.
Because
Really?
Yeah,
It
because
should've
they're
stayed
just like,
dead.
okay, and now
And now Stewie's gay for Brian, and Brian is like even more of an alcoholic than normal, and just.
the whole spirit of the show got thrown out, and now it's just one gay joke after another, and we do not make Family Guy jokes in this studio, on this crew. We are forbidden from that.
We had to sign
It
a
is
waiver for
yeah,
it.
it's a rule in the contract. We do not make Family Guy jokes because it's lame. And every now and then we'll slip up and go, and I kick you when you do.
And then you're really,
And I kick you again because Family Guy has been around too long. It has run its course. It is time to move on, people.
remember on South Park where they, whenever they invent something new with because of mammals, whatever it is, they get the. It's like it's one of the episodes.
Shiny. shiny objects. We're
Yeah,
talking
there
about
you go.
Family Guy.
Yeah.
We're not talking about South Park.
It's like that all the time. Just
Okay,
well,
South Park, however, is relevant.
Yeah.
South Park continually stays funny and relevant. It's not the same thing over and over again.
I stopped watching whenever they were still in 6th grade.
Yeah, same
I
here.
hate Family Guy.
But, you know, Family Guy is almost as bad as The Simpsons. Okay, The
It's
Simpsons,
the same show.
Yeah.
It is the same show.
It's time to, you know, let it go and move on.
It's just one has yellow people, the other one has normal people.
So you're saying one's worse because it's got Asian people in it?
I wasn't going to go there, but thank you, racist.
Both these cartoons just keep coming, and we're like, oh, I want to just stop. I don't know why. People are still watching this crap. There's better things on TV to do, like not watch TV, you know? What are you laughing at?
It just keeps coming, and when is it going to stop? Sorry. Anyways.
We digress. What can we say?
Saplings, yes.
Saplings. No, we're not going there. And American Idol.
Yes.
Dear Lord, what is wrong with you people? How is that show continually watched?
And
no
then
one here watches American Idol. You don't watch American Idol, do you? You guys over there, you don't watch American Idol?
I used to.
I don't understand.
I watched it for the first season.
How you can turn a 5-minute thing, you're gone, into a 2-hour freaking block of show with like 50 minutes of commercials to say, and next voted off American Idol is, and you hear,
for the next 5 minutes.
right after this break, and then you got 15 minutes, you come back, and the next voted off
We're going
is,
to recap on the past
but first,
season.
we're going to recap the whole season, you're right. And you're sitting there going for a whole 2 hours. Who gets voted off? What are we watching? What
See,
happened?
that's why I don't watch cable anymore, because I wait for it to come out later and then just skip through everything.
Yeah.
See, that's what we do. We all do on-demand stuff. So
Thank Tebow.
Yeah, no
don't
commercials.
think Tebow. Did you say Tebow? I'm thinking of the athlete Tebow. Thank Tebow, the football player. We got the on-demand TV, the newfangled technologies.
Digressing again. Yes.
So, anyways, and the last item we have is reboots.
I am so tired of reboots, especially if you just make the show or movie 3 years beforehand and then you're remaking it. Why? Why? I mean, I can understand like 80s movies trying to get the new kids into it. I can understand that. But like The Amazing Spider-Man, you literally just had 3 movies. The third one just came out 3 years ago, and then you make The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, they should have really just continued the story on. Like, I really was hoping they were going to build up to Sinister Six, but, you know, that's just me.
It's like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts is another one.
Yeah.
Where the hell is Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
It freaking just, no, let's make little DS games that suck. And here's another DS game that sucks while we're sitting here waiting for the big epic finale of Kingdom Hearts.
No more fillers.
No more fillers. No more fillers. We're going to go on boycott outside.
Oh, the nerd's worst enemy, fillers.
I'm telling you. But reboots, you know, they're ever popular, they're ever present.
And it's mostly with the superhero movies, I've noticed.
It's a lot of superhero movies, like they're going to have to reboot Batman because they didn't end the Batman trilogy on a good note where they could have continued it.
Or they're also rebooting the Fantastic Four. They're rebooting Daredevil.
Well, let's face it, they really need to reboot Daredevil.
Now
I'm
with
not gonna lie.
Disney.
That one wasn't exactly the best superhero movie ever.
That's
But
true.
now with Disney.
With Disney?
Yeah.
Did you call it Disney?
Disney.
I could have sworn you just
Disney?
said Disney.
No, I heard Disney too.
Disney. Is it Disney or is it Disney?
Disney.
So,
What about Disney?
They're gonna.
he hates Disney.
Yeah.
He thinks they're evil, but they did right with
Hey.
Marvel. They're going to do right with Star Wars.
Hey, everybody. Episode 7 with sing-alongs.
They're not going to have a musical episode 7, although
They
that would
stopped
be kind
that
of fun.
after
Actually,
Tangled. Tangled was the last show that they were going to do with music in it.
Well,
Told
what
you.
else do they have coming up? I mean, everything comes out of Pixar now. 3
so-
weeks. If you're in San Antonio,
have
catch
no
us at ChimeraCon and come be on
Hey,
TV.
Josh.
We'll be back.
Because, I mean, if you think about it, Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't a musical, and that was done by Disney.
Yeah. What'll be funny is like, I'm here with the Emperor.
I have 30
My
seconds.
father.
Oh no, I just got shot again. I shot first, not that other guy.
Yeah, who shot first?
We're going to wrap up this segment. And we're gonna-